Probably take a drive out now, right now. Probably in the sky right now, right now. I think I might slide right now.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's Greg from Linq here. Welcome back to another episode of the Linq Up. I'm your host, Greg Reynoso. Today we're in downtown LA. I'm here with the homie ROiN. We're here for episode 3, brought to you by PACHUCO Tattoo in the city of Orange. So shout out to PACHUCO Tattoo for sponsoring this episode. If you need a tattoo, they can help you with any size, any design. Hit them up. I'll drop a link in the description. So let's just kick things off, man. It's been a minute since we've talked, since we linked up, and it's good to see you.
Yeah, man. What's up? How's it going?
It's good, man. Didn't hit any traffic coming in today, so.
Yeah, same. I had time to get coffee, so it was pretty dope.
I know. I was like, man, an hour and 12 minutes? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So before we get, too far in, for those that don't know who you are, what you've been doing, what you've been up to, why don't you just shed a little bit of light to what you've been up to, and kind of what you're aspiring to do this year?
I recently just released Madeintokyo, which is a short EP that I worked on with Waldo Rez. That was basically inspired by my most recent trip to Tokyo. So it was really just based on scenery and how I felt the vibes were out there, like in districts like Harajuku, Shibuya, and Shinjuku, things of that nature. Once I finished that project, I basically had to focus on school. So I really hadn't made any music until maybe the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually currently working on Mikey Mello's EP. It's called Who Did I Forget?
Okay.
So I'm actually basically, working on the creative process of that, producing the beats for that, working with Mikey directly. At the same time, I am getting a grasp on kind of like what I want to do for Drive Stage 2.
Okay.
Which is the following EP based on the first one. So that's basically what I've been working on at the moment.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. So how long has it been since Drive came out? Because, it doesn't even feel like it's been that long, and you've been pretty busy,
Drive came out 2017
Okay.
in November, I want to say.
It's about a year and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah. So basically around the 2-year mark is kind of when I want to release it. So hopefully, November 3rd maybe of this year.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Drive for a minute, because here you are, you're up and coming, you're making music, and then you get a pretty big feature on this album, right? You get Rockie Fresh. So how did that come about? How exactly did you even approach that?
Actually, before even Drive was a thing, I was listening to The Night I Went To, which is Rockie Fresh's latest album. And there's a song on there which, somehow just like got the drum pattern and the tempo got stuck in my mind for a couple nights, and I was just making music. And one night I made it. I'm like, wow, it would be amazing to have Rockie Fresh on here, because wow, it just fits him so perfectly. And I just reached out to him, and I actually follow him on Snapchat and stuff like that. So I would just pay attention to what he was doing, and I just reached out to him. And he's actually really pretty humble guy. Reached out to him. He's like, yeah, man, I can have the verse to you within 48 hours. I'm like, shit. Dope, man. And then I ended up getting it, feature him on there, and I was actually able to feature him again on Madeintokyo. So except this time he was on the hook. So I appreciate him for that.
Hell yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's cool to hear.
Yeah.
So I guess one bit of advice there is, if anyone else is trying to land a feature like that, just pay attention, right? Just pay attention to what they're into.
Yeah, and just ask them. They're human beings too. They're like. They're well known, social media and music, but at the same time, you just have to respect them.
Yeah.
So just say what's up. Just thank them for putting in the time and effort, taking the time out of their day to help you out. So just treat it as any other person, but at the same time, you got to respect everyone else too.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I there's often times where like the other day I got a DM on Instagram, and I appreciate anybody who reaches out, but submitting your music or your music video and just saying, yo, here's my YouTube channel, like it and share it, or subscribe to it and share it. It's not the way. Build a little rapport, and make sure that what you're putting out kind of fits in with who you want to work with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what's up, man. So let's talk about your trip to Tokyo or out to Japan for a little bit. So how long were you out there?
Just I think about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's what's up. So what inspired that trip?
The trip in general, just wanting to go to
was there any was there
reason
any like reasoning you wanted to go out there
or? My friend and I had actually been wanting to go since high school.
or okay.
And it happened 10 years later.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, I mean, that was really it. I had always been wanting to go to Tokyo. I really like the culture, so I'm into, like, anime, specifically, you know, Dragon Ball. I love eating ramen. I think I had ramen there every single day.
That's good.
Gundam. I mean, just the culture in general. It's easy to appreciate, especially for someone that likes cartoons or animations.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's what's up. So you said that's where you built up some inspiration for Madeintokyo, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. So on there we saw you did some work with Ta-Ku Beats, right?
Yeah. I actually reached out to him after I released Drive. So
Okay.
when I released Drive, I reached out to him too, kind of like Rocky. I was like, hey, this is basically the theme or direction behind Drive. And he's like, oh, that's really dope. So we stayed in contact. I sent him a couple beats, which one of them was actually used for one of like Nike Air Max's things,
dope.
which was pretty cool, which is the song that landed on Madeintokyo, which is Shinjuku District, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. Well, that's what's up, man. So do you have any big features that you're thinking about having on with this new release?
I do, however, I don't know if I should say just because
Keep it on the DL.
Yeah, they're not for sure, and I
Yeah.
don't want to like burn a bridge. So
No, yeah,
anyway,
100%. I respect that.
Maybe offline.
Yeah, offline. So that's what's up, man. Moving along. How did you get into music? I mean, because a lot of people are trying to do it. You know, there's very few actually doing it really well. You're one of them. Really well polished. I mean, everything about what you're releasing, from the album artwork to just you look at it as a full creative process. Whereas, you know, someone's just gonna make a beat, throw some lyrics over it, and put it out on SoundCloud. But how did you get into music and creating the music and all that?
So you want to know like the full background?
Yeah, let's hear it, bro.
I mean, I guess it started when I was like in 6th grade. So I had my best friend at the time. He had what do you have? His dad bought him Fruity Loops. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called FL Studio now. And at the time, I honestly had no interest in making music. I think I was just into playing video games.
Yeah.
And this guy was trying to make beats, yada yada. He wanted, I think 8 Mile just came out, so he was like inspired by Eminem. And I was just like, whatever, I'll just stick to playing games. So he moved away. I had the CD still to go ahead and still install it on my Windows PC. So I think maybe my junior year in high school, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pop it in here and install it. I think I was just bored. So yeah, 5 years later, I'm just like messing around with FL Studio. And then from there, I just started learning how to make beats.
Hell yeah, bro. That's what's up. So when you're coming up with a new track or just a new project in general, is there any one specific route of inspiration, or like because we look at Madeintokyo, and that was obviously inspired by your trip and all that. So, you know, what can we see for inspiration going to this new project?
Drive is like more of a personal thing, and
Okay.
I mean, I really don't speak on it, but yeah, Drive has its own certain thing to it. So there's like 2 things, right? Like literal driving, and then there's a deeper meaning behind like having drive to do something, right? So with the original Drive series, it's kind of like starts off at night. So if you see the track listing, it starts at 10 p.m. then ends at 2 a.m. The following one will actually begin at 4 a.m.
Okay.
Finish off at 8 a.m. And then Stage 3, which technically will be the last one of the Drive series, should end 6 hours later. And basically the reason, I mean, you're probably going to ask why there's 3 stages only.
Right.
So when you're modifying a car, the full modifications of a car actually ends up at Stage 3. So it kind of like suits the theme behind the car direction.
Okay.
And at the same time allows me to go ahead and just finish the series off with it, like that short trilogy, I guess.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. So let's talk kind of, since I touched on the creative direction and how you look at this as a big picture and you execute it so well. Let's talk about how so the album artwork for Madeintokyo, I followed artists who did that. He's pretty dope. Shout out. But
Dirty Robot, he's dope as fuck.
Yep. How did you come up? Like, how did you get in contact with him and all that? Did he come up with the design? Did you come up with the design? Did you guys collaborate on it?
Honestly, I don't know how I came across his artwork. I don't recall. But I found him somehow, whether it was Twitter or Instagram. And it was like towards the end of me finishing the project, I think. And I found it and I was like, damn, like this guy literally lives in Tokyo. His art is like straight anime. I'm just going to hit him up. So, I mean, yeah, he was easy to work with. I told him what I wanted.
Okay.
From clothes to this color scheme and everything. And he just executed it and delivered exactly kind of like what I wanted.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, he's a super dope artist. Been following him ever since, and dropping those likes.
Yeah.
But that's cool to hear. So let's talk about your new project coming out. All right. Now, with this, do you see this being something that you're gonna hype up real large, and we're gonna see a launch party maybe or something like that? 'Cause that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's have a better release than I did with the first drive. The first drive was kind of like okay, I'm making music again, and I'm going to see what happens.
Right.
Because I did release a mixtape like years ago, like maybe 6 years ago, and I mean, it was for fun. At the same time, I stopped making music maybe for like 5 years. So then I released Drive, which was my first one after not making music for a long time, and there was thought behind it, but there was no like marketing or any of that. Same thing with Madeintokyo. I wanted to do marketing, but at the same time, I was like, I'm just doing it because I like making music. For this next one, I think I'm gonna take it a little bit more serious.
Okay.
So I may do everything for merch. Maybe small listening party. I'm not the type of guy to really want to do that, anyways. But I'll do it just because maybe I have to. I said merch. Yeah, merch, marketing, and maybe a listening party. Website. Yeah, I'll probably just do the whole shebang this time.
Do it all, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much you actually have to do as a music artist or when you're just making music in general. There's just so much into it. I mean, that's why we see a lot of artists get signed, right?
Yeah, so once an artist gets signed, basically they just take care of everything for them.
They have that
they just got to make the
resources,
content.
right?
Yeah, basically.
So dang. So if you were to is starting your own label something you've thought about doing?
Yeah. However, I think maybe I should just focus on, putting myself out there first before I even think about doing that. I mean, we do have a little small team, which is, it's working pretty well so far. So maybe down the road, that's something we can look into.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the chemistry like between all of you on the team? Who's all on the team for one?
It'd be Mikey and Waldo Rez. We have a couple younger guys on there that are trying to work and get better at making music, but all three of us have been making music since maybe like 2011.
Okay.
Like on and off, but I think we're starting to get the ball rolling once again, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We see a lot of people out there, talking about like 2019 is the year, right? Like we were just talking before this, like I personally I wasted a lot of time in 2018. And so, the anthem for 2019 is, we're going to get it. So do you feel that way? Do you feel like 2019 is going to be a good year for you personally with music and projects and all that?
I don't know.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You want to count your chickens before they hatch, right?
Yep.
No, because then you just set yourself up for a letdown. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that's what's up, man. Well, is there anything else you want anyone else to know?
I don't know.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Short and sweet. All right. Well, as we wrap up, first off, do you have anyone you want to thank, and do you got any plugs you want to drop?
Probably just thank the most recent people I worked with on Madeintokyo: Waldo, Mikey. What else did I have on there? Ta-Ku, Rockie. Anyone indirectly help me work on there? I mean, Esley for taking photos. You know,
Appreciate it.
and maybe myself.
Yeah, you got to thank yourself, bro,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, because
And
it all
anyone
starts
else
with you.
listening, Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's what's up, man. So before we wrap up, where can everybody find you and the crew on the internet?
Easiest one, I would definitely say Instagram at ROiN. Spotify, Apple Music, all this music streaming services. I mean, yeah, that's really it.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you, driving this way out, meeting me, sitting down for a few. We'll have to link up again, whenever you got these projects out. We talk about them.
Yeah, maybe the closer Drive Stage 2 comes out.
Hell yeah, dude.
For sure.
For sure. Cool. Well, I appreciate all of you for tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're tuning in on a podcast. I'm going to go ahead and drop all the links to social, to all the projects, iTunes, everything in the video description as well as the podcast description. So make sure and hit those and support. If you like this interview and you want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe. Drop a comment. Let us know if you have any questions for either myself or for ROiN here, and see if we can get those answered, whether it's about music or just maybe some kind of pitfall you might be in. We'll try to we're not experts, but we'll definitely give our best advice. Until the next one, though, I'm Greg. This is ROiN, the Linq Up. We're out. Peace.
Yep.